okay for me, but it's a safe pair of hands. But the aggression, I think there's a much bigger story to be told on the side here of ZETA. Going on with the long-range sharpshooters combined with the melody up in your face. Gus, I just think you just can't go wrong. It's one of those brawlers that if I had to sort of give advice to anyone looking to really kind of get into the game heavily when rank 2.0 hits the updates, play Gus everywhere. It's so versatile across all the modes. I mean, really, you can't go wrong. Even in some of the heist maps, you know, it could work in Kaboom Canyon all day long. But I mean, it's just so versatile and it is so strong. And the Cookie Popper gadget as well, really being able to secure kills if you're really quick on your thumbs. It's very strong at the moment in the current meta.
Okay, that hurts. Melty with the hook didn't manage to get Suzuku through that wall. So it's Suzuku that's going to be piloting the melody today rather than ZETA, who's opted to go for this Piper lane on the left side, which you should have the advantage in. Note also, Melty, if you are watching the World Finals or at least just the highlights from the event, you'll notice, or you'll remember an awesome pull that Melty got that turned into a double pull. Just massive play. Okay, ZETA taken down by Batoman. That's a lead for Reject. It sort of seemed like ZETA were running the show so far. They were getting good damage, but just that one kill confirmation from Batoman has now flipped the script, put Reject in the lead.
Melty thought about it. Missed mark though there from Shoot, and that might prove costly. A tap onto Tampa, who returns fire onto Batoman, who's down very low here. And ZETA, you can feel it. They're creeping up upon their prey. Probably not too far away. It's Tampa from a hypercharge now, as now Suzuki goes in. Will he come out? He does. So far, so good. The right-hand side of the slow is affecting Levi. Melty goes in. The walking cane connection, and he gets the kill for it as well. It's Reject now in the lead, and Melty forced it forwards even more so. Tampa's forced away. He may have even gone down there, but it is Reject that are bang in front in the driving seat here, ready.
I am losing my mind over here. Reject have just pulled off some crazy kills. Melty, what a menace, teleport in on the right, denies the melody, then a long pull again, just to put the hurt on him. 15 seconds left for ZETA to bring this back. They got a melody hypercharge, but they don't really have the health to execute. Melty pops a hypercharge of his own. No impact, no walking canes to make any use out of it. Suzuku just one tap. Bataman, Melty could take him down. ZETA going in for the kill confirm around the left side, but it's just not happening. And Reject get the lead. Just one game, sure, but the momentum is in their hands.
Well, that got real ugly real quick, didn't it? That really went from bad to worse. And nothing can go wrong with this series, right? In terms of our predictions, really. We were saying, you know, coming in, Celsius just wanted to confirm that we don't see this going against our predictions, right? We're like, nope, absolutely not. No way that happens. Well, hate to be the bearer of bad news. That was not the start there for ZETA. But I think the draft is still very solid. I think the mechanics are still very much under their thumbs. Ooh, what a little gadget there from ZETA onto Bataman, but Bataman still stays standing every single time. Rarely going down here, so you've got to commend the guy. Again, someone who's been out of the competitive scene for 2 years, already said. I mean, the only real instance that I can think of an example of someone else that's done that is Gugu in the EMEA region. It doesn't happen very often for good reason, right?
Pretty much. I mean, when they are out of the spotlight for a couple years, there's usually a good reason for it. It's just because they're not cutting the mustard. Okay, ZETA leads off this charge with a kill on the right side. ZETA Division denying even a single star to Reject, but they are not going to stop that pressure. ZETA in with a hypercharge. There's one. Doesn't really need to get another one on Shu, and he doesn't have the gadget to confirm it onto him either, but it's all good. ZETA Division now have this opening to bring things back to their home front. Obviously want to cover their retreat. They'll have more terrain that they can play around here. Suzuki also, with the reposition to the left side, gets his hypercharge off of that. That's crucial, but he's marked and taken down. Actually, a good interaction there in favor of Suzuki because he wants to be able to use his hypercharge and super without being marked. Now, going for Shu, looking for the kill. There's one. Doesn't have enough gas in the tank to go for another, but he's got another 3 supers at his disposal.
Still going in by Shu as well on the bottom side. He is out of position here and slowed. The nest egg from the bell, but let's see, can he get out of this position? The shield comes in yet again. Clutch, but goes down 6 to 11. Oh, that was almost Levi going into a Paris spot as well. It's still 14 to 20. Oh my word, that's just turning so quickly. It's still in favor of ZETA though, and has allowed Suzuki to go really on the aggressive. It's not going to matter if he goes down. They're still going to be out in front, tying things up. Oh, I can tell this is going to be a spicy, spicy match for this grand finals, already. I love it.
Yes, entire match, just based off of this set so far. It has looked so even. The back and forth has been incredible between these two. Blue Star, Zeta Division, most likely, but Suzuki doesn't want to get pulled. Already tapped up twice, punished. Melty looking for the kill confirm. Shots really not going where they needed to, but he has an opportunity to get Levi. Shu lines up the final shot. He was able to push up mid and apply that pressure because he'd done so much damage to Suzuki earlier on, even though he didn't get the kill. Another hook on Suzuki. Teleport behind you. Nothing personnel, kid, to advance the lead to 5 stars and a Blue Star.
Oh, the tap exchange there was beautiful. Stetampo still came out on top, but it could have gone either way between himself and Shu, and comes back in immediately with a takedown there of Suzuki, bringing more stars over. Rejects have the lead and the Blue Star. They're ahead by 2. Top of the net deck by Levi. Oh, but the missed walking cane from Melty might prove costly there as well. Could have been a potential for disaster there, but it wasn't capitalized on effectively enough by Reject. Hypercharge popped by Stetampo, but not able to find the super off the back of things. In fact, nothing at all. Every shot missed now, and Zeta's starting to crumble a little bit. They do need a takedown. There is time on their side. They've got just under a minute now. Melty low, but not going to get taken care of whatsoever. Oh, look at that. The Hacks gadget of Bassaman strikes then.
Reject got to be gearing up for a big defense, though. The final 40 seconds. Still plenty of time for a Zeta Division to get a good old-fashioned push in. Make it work that way. Here comes the super from Levi. Suzuki trying to punish. What? Completely denied? Like he wasn't even a consideration at all? The team almost all at full health. Levi trying to punish on the right side. Shu stays alive with 336 health left now. Healing back up once again. Zeta Division only have one more chance, but they can't connect on a Melty. The straight lining is out of this world. Final hook missed by Melty. Doesn't matter. He's able to teleport. Might have to. Hypercharge. Teleport away from Suzuki. Dodging the shots. He's so low. They need one more kill to make it happen. Connection. No. Reject. Take the set.
What a word. She played out of his mind. He really did. That mark, by the way, was what absolutely decimated Suzuki on that melody. He couldn't do anything at all in the final moments because he was marked up so swiftly and just eradicated out of existence. What an amazing first opening set. So much action to unpack.
We got a lot to talk about, gentlemen. And I'm gonna put my disappointment in what looks like a dwindling possibility of having a correct second prediction aside.
Hey, it's the first set. It's the first set. We can hope.
I don't know, man. I've seen this go this way a couple times now today. But we got just incredible play from Reject that is keeping them. I thought this is not a fluke. This is not Zeta Division misplaying. You're shouting at the defense they're pulling off, the timing, and I don't even know how they're making this happen. But with your expert eyes, please bring this to my attention, ready?
Well, like I think for slow, sluggish, he's not really able to dodge the shots from Piper very well. She's able to blow up the walls that he needs to put his stuff behind. Lou is the defensive response to this Daryl, and I have to wonder, right? We're on Heist. He's not going to be able to do much in terms of safe damage. Sort of the perma defense.
I like the Lou response to Daryl for sure. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it, and that was how they decided to really kind of counteract that. They wanted to go on the defense, not the offense, and I would kind of prefer to have the Eve, just because it plays so well into the Piper. You're really struggling to be pushing forwards when you've got hatchlings coming in with the hypercharge now for Eve in just such an amazing spot. I mean, it was a bit of an open door for me to counter the Piper, but the counter to the Daryl is equally as important, so I get it. I really, really do get it on the side end of both. I like both comps. There's not really much to say that I don't really necessarily like here, and no spinning though, push the tamper on that skin. That's one thing you can say. No BM to be getting into the minds of Rejects, but yeah, the Berry I would say is probably my sort of strangest kind of pick for me, but certainly with the super you can advance forwards onto the safe and get some good value, some gadget pops as well. To have that everlasting ice cream on the map can cause a lot of damage on the safe as well, so I don't mind it.
a gadget major consideration out here. We have yet to see it make impact on the safe. Maybe that's the gadget that remains. We'll have to wait and see. It fades away, so he didn't pop a gadget. Batman's trying to get in position around the right side, though. There's a gadget. Sacrificed himself to get it on their shoe. Also frozen, but doesn't even really matter. Got so much damage on the safe. The aggression is here to play for Reject. ZETA finally, though, getting their chance to respond in. Look at the damage pouring in. As soon as the boosted booster comes down, that's 50% damage boost. More extra credits pouring out from Levi into the enemy safe, but it's time to play defense. This is where ZETA starts to come out to play. Batman now applying the pressure. Now ZETA has another enemy he's got to face. Completely frozen Batman. What? Levi with a whiff shot to the left side, completely costing the defense.
Melty came in clutch there as well with a lovely tap, keeping Batman alive and in the conversation. But look at that. I mean, you can see the confidence in Reject right now. ZETA are just a bit all over the place for me, and it's really, really upsetting to see because we're rooting for these guys. Our predictions are on the line here. I mean, our semi-finals could be really in disaster here. We've already lost one to the previous matchup, and Reject just haven't skipped a beat so far. It's really quite impressive to see, but I mean, I prefer the ZETA draft, honestly. They're just not getting the opening door to really land the mark here. Levi now on the right-hand side does find the save, lands the extra credits, but taken care of very quickly. Good taps, though, there from the Lu onto the mid, but Shu doing his best to advance things as well. So back and forth.
Shu with the roll in and the roll back out to help Melty win that mid matchup. And Melty is tapping like there's no tomorrow. That's 3 in a row to eliminate Levi. They advance forward once more. Melty with that super to get out of there if necessary. Needs 2 on a ZETA. That's a difficult shot to hit on the left side. Going for another hypercharge shot in on the safe. He's going crazy. Has a super to escape if necessary, but keeping up the pressure. Levi only hanging on by a thread. Melty can't miss. Another on a Suzuku. Hypercharge in from Battleman. And it doesn't really make that much of an impact, but Melty has established the consistent play at mid that is so necessary. Weird roll from Shu, but it gets him the win. Another one onto the safe, trying to take down Levi, and Reject keep up the pressure.
They really are. That is exactly what Reject are doing. They're just keeping the pressure on the entire time. Not allowing ZETA out the spawn, not allowing ZETA anywhere near forwards of the map. Look at Melty here as well, buying his time in that top right-hand side for his teammates to come back in. And it's not long before they do. Here they come. Shu coming in, lands bang on the safe, and gets it done for Reject. This is escalating out of control, and ZETA are losing their grasp on the situation. That's another set in quick succession here for Reject. They're just not taking their foot off the gas.
It's one set, Ark said. It's not a trend, Ark said. It could still go. It's just 2 sets. You know what? The games have been so good. Like, it's been interesting to see how ZETA has been reacting, and they've been trying some things. It hasn't quite been working out, but what do you see from ZETA in their response to Reject here that might give us any hope in this possibly reversing results, or at least getting some ZETA on the board?
It's not really what I see from ZETA, there, it's what I see from Melty, to be completely honest. You know, that's the problem. I mean, he's tapping that entire game on that Piper pick, and that was the thing that I was saying coming into the draft. He's like, well, they chose to go with Lu for the Daryl, but Melty was clearly the main offender there to focus their time and attention on better. I mean, if they'd gone with the Eve, and I'm not trying to like blow my own trumpet because I was suggesting it, but genuinely, like, that's the kind of thing that as a pro team, you kind of got to have an awareness to, of like, you know, who the main issue is on that team and what brawlers they're likely to be better with. And I felt like that he was the problem. 9 takedowns by far, the most out of anyone. And it's not an easy map to make Piper work on, especially when you've got so much aggression going against you. So, you know, if they actually were placed on the back foot sometimes, pushed back in this spawn, getting out of a Piper is very difficult to do. And it could have been the very thing that allowed ZETA to really thrive there, but they just didn't get off the mark. And it's a concerning thing when you look at the fact that this could end up being a sweep right now. The exact opposite of our prediction.
Reddy, any thoughts you've got on how this is going? It's exciting hearing you call out in the game exactly how people are performing, moving these things ahead, but as we pull back kind of in between these matches, it's a less immediate reaction. So what are you thinking?
I think that Melty is on a tear right now. He seems unstoppable. I want whatever aimbot he downloaded, like, I need him to give me the link, because this guy cannot miss a shot if you paid him to do it. Into the Angelo. Angelo's like supposed to beat the Piper as well, not by DPS on the safe, but he's supposed to out-snipe her, and yet in every single matchup, he's getting the kills. Even when his team struggles to get damage on the enemy safe, he's still keeping the control. It is absolutely ridiculous, and also just a more team-based thing. I kind of like the draft better from Reject. You see the Piper early on, and ZETA literally did not respond to it at all. They had nothing that was good into that Piper except for the Angelo, and just going like one counter by one counter isn't really going to work when you're facing the constant aggression of the Daring.
Can you really leave a Juju open on hot zone? Like that's my. I mean, ZETA are not doing themselves many favors here, really. I mean, Stu, yeah. I mean, that's like my second favorite first pick to have on hot zone as a game mode, but it's Dueling Beetles as well. I wouldn't mind the Jesse pick coming through if the draft allows for it here, but it rarely is the case nowadays in terms of the meta. But it's one of my favorite brawlers to really rock into things. The Hypercharge is going to do a lot to that turret that Stu can't do much about as well. But the ZETA as well, that speed zone gadget that Stu's going to bring into the equation, really going to get everyone off the mark very, very quickly here. Tankiness as well, of course, in Dueling Beetles is going to go a long, long way. The indestructible walls make such a big difference now. Be that as an idea to have in the back pocket for an insurance policy should Reject want to go down that very path. Frank, not opposed to it whatsoever. I think it has a good place in Dueling Beetles, despite the B even, honestly. I mean, it is hard once the Frank just continues to hold W forwards to really make much of a dent, even with a B on your pick side. So let's see how Reject fare about it. Certainly the Juju with the Gree is going to have a good time against tanks if ZETA want to go down that path themselves. So a great draft being played out as we speak. Now Bell coming into the equation, and man, you know how I feel about that in the hands of Rejects and the shoe. I mean, I'm scared. I'm really scared now.
I'm taking a look at some of the anti-Frank measures on ZETA Division's side, and they could incorporate this into their draft. Are they trying to force this from Reject? I feel like the way that you deal with the Frank is that you cap this off with a Colette, for instance. Colette's not going to be good into B. I think it limits Reject's options quite a lot. So this leaving Juju open thing has perhaps laid a trap for Reject. You're kind of forced to pick it because, like, why would... Whoa! All right! I'm here for this, man.
Whoa!
Like, bottom tier brawler.
We're going back to the World Finals in 2023. What is
when we
this?
saw it played approximately, well, exactly 0 times because it was banned, like, every single time. Okay, Charlie, spiders, come down, block the shots from ZETA, block the shots from Suzuku. It just takes you so long to get that super. When you do, you can shut things down. Boom. Completely faked him out. Larry and Laurie can deal with those spiders like they never even existed in the first place. Should be able to contend toe-to-toe, or, you know, a little bit less so than Juju. She's still the best thrower, but a pretty solid option. Reject don't have a single way of breaking walls. Honestly, I think a good trap from ZETA Division. Force them to pick the Juju and then play the draft exactly how they want.
Yeah, not play into it. I feel you. I can see the Charlie being somewhat effective into the B because ultimately you're going to be taking away a charge shot every spider that's got to kind of take care of, right? But I still don't really feel like it validates the pick. You know, it's just kind of funny to me that they went with that particular brawler, which I don't think is the worst. The brawlers, many of the brawlers I think are worse than Charlie in the current meta. I mean, we saw Oni today, for crying out loud. Yeah. That's my least favorite brawler in the entire game currently. But I just don't really kind of see it being the best of picks when there's others available, but let's see how things fare. All I can say for certain is that if ZETA lose to this, then they can't deserve to.
I think so, right? Because I think Reject have picked something that can be quite challenging to play. They've gone out on a limb. They've departed from what is really the meta right now with this Charlie selection. So far, though, they have gotten more percentage on the zone. Oh, what a snipe from Suzuku all the way downtown to mid. ZETA gets to zoom all over it. Missed super from Battleman is catastrophic. It takes you like 7 shots to farm that up, and then off into the ether. No possibility. Now they risk getting trapped in spawn thanks to the positioning from Levi. I think ZETA Division have found the solution.
Yeah, sorry, Batman, but it's a bold thing to bring in a Charlie, but, you know, if you're going to bring it in, you've got to land your super, mate. That's unforgivable. Now, we're starting to see ZETA climbing forwards, gaining some confidence, gaining some momentum here, but Melty's still alive here, slowed, fortunately there for Levy, because ultimately he was the prime candidate for being tapped up there if Melty was able to get into a position to do so. Good shots there, landing forwards. Levi's pushed back as a result now. Juju on the map, but not finding any connections yet. Tampa now hypercharging in, coming in with the flames on the map. And a bit of a lick of, oh, there it is, straight in the face. It's going to shut things down. Can Reject do the unthinkable now? There's 9% need for ZETA. And we've seen moments like this turn once they've got that positioning power back on the map and that control. Can they do it? Can they make an upset now?
Okay, just a few more percent to get here. Battleman still trying to establish the presence on the point. There's one takedown, still 7% to go. ZETA's taking this nice and slow, now speeding up, accelerating. There's one kill, looking for Melty on the right. Shu cannot get them off of the point. And ZETA Vision finally put one on the board, and at last, it looks like they actually have control of a set.
So, I mean, Salsa, this is how it goes, you see. You know, one set you go down, then 2 sets you go down, then you're looking at your predictions going, oh no, it's over. But then one single draft, and it can all literally come back full circle. And this is where we're at now. If ZETA can now just get this set in the bag, then we're cooking, then we're talking. They've got some momentum behind themselves, then some wind in their sails. You can get to a 5th and final set off the back of that, but I mean, it's a lot to ask, let's be honest. I feel like this draft wasn't really going the way of Reject, and there's something for it now.
I want to comment on Seltzer, like popping in as probably chewing her fingernails.
You better hope so.
Well, yeah, it's quite possible ZETA Vision come back now, but Reject have gotten their win of mid. And this is the first time, even though they briefly got control, they didn't have all 3 members on the point like they do right now. ZETA's going to lead the charge, boom, in the cocoon. See ya, buddy, in a few seconds. Taking a lot of damage, slowed down, pretty much a sitting duck. Opted not to use that super because I think he would like to respawn with it instead. Reject now eclipsing the percentage earned so far by ZETA Vision. And Levi now popping down the spawnable Battleman out with the hypercharge. There's 1, there's 2 with the help of Melty in the cocoon, and it staggers the respawn. They're in no hurry. Here comes the final shots from Shu. 2v3 ensues.
Yeah, we've been giving Batman a hard time for sure, but he's starting to cook. He is starting to cook a little bit here now, and he's helping his team really hold firm on this mid. Time is ticking down as well as the objective continues to mount in favor of Reject, and now 15% is all that stands between them and a match point scenario going into the grand finals of today. Tam is the last man to try to really put the pressure on here, but then Melty comes in, marks him up, and Reject now really are in the position of power. This is where ZETA might falter. They've got so much work to do. They've demonstrated that this comp can absolutely win things in this set. But against the match point, you know, that's a tough position to come back from and then go all the way forwards to a 5th and final set to even be in the conversation to take the whole thing. They've got to make this game count, ready.
Misprediction number 2. Just one game away from coming in. It's so possible. Reject, once they got control, they were unstoppable. Shu, especially Battleman, also finally executing on that Charlie. Could have just taken him 1 game to warm up. ZETA Vision, once again with a strong start, but they did this in game number 2 as well. ZETA looking for the elimination on Battleman. There it is. Shoot now, down with the Gree. But this time Levi has help. He has his own spawnable to fight Shu's, and it's completely taken down. ZETA also applying the pressure at mid, forcing Shu away, keeping his super online. Now circling around for Melty. This is looking much better for ZETA Vision. Elimination with a rattled hive from Suzuku. And ZETA Vision are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, beautiful there, honestly, on that B pick. And the top of the left-hand side really was doing a lot of work to really force the positioning there as well. Melty's got super. A good mark would go a long way here. Tampa goes in, fires a Gree just the face as well. That shielding really put a full stop in the situation. Suzuki low as well, being tapped up here. It's a lot of good, heavy start though for ZETA that Reject have got to catch up on time for now. Larry Laurie getting back into the mid now as well. The Gree going to be taken care of swiftly, but low HP for Tampa and Levi. And now Reject are starting to fight back a little bit more. Time is ticking, 16% left though for ZETA. If Reject can hold mid here, tough us, but it can be done.
ZETA looking for a kill. Hypercharge zooming all the way to the backside. Down goes Battleman Shu. Next to fall, Melty. And Zeta Division have taken back control. They take the set, and we're gonna be going to yet another no sweep for Reject, as close as they may have been. Zeta Division are showing us that they are still in it to win it, though it came damn close.
Exactly what I expected. Never doubted my predictions for a second. Zeta all the way. Zeta win. Hashtag Zeta for the win. And yeah, Salsa, man, nothing to worry about. No worries at all. We're still in it. We're still in it.
You guys are bang on every time except that one time. So, I mean, I don't know where the doubt even came. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have wavered at all. And look at these stats here. They're pulling it back. Although, ooh, Reject's still looking pretty strong there. Ready, what'd you see?
From Reject, well, check this out, okay? Juju, sharp player, most DPS on the team. I think Gree really caring in many scenarios. Charlie just didn't really cook the way it was needed to. Zeta Division found their way around it. This was just like set number 1, though. Pretty even one. I mean, yeah, look at that scoreline. 2-1, 2-1. Just the sides have been swapped around a little bit. I think really the main struggle for Zeta Division in game number 2 of this last set was that they could not get control on mid, and they actually almost let it slip in game number 1 as well, when they lost control of mid, but only 2 members of Reject were there to try and contest, and then, okay, 3 respawn, they can take it back.
Get out of the box. Well, I thought we were done with this today. Like, I mean, come on. But hey, I mean, it has got a really good win rate today so far, at least from what I've seen. So, I mean, it could be the right thing for Zeta. But I agree with you in regards to the Tara versus Surge matchup. You know, the idea of trying to suppress that Surge as frequently as possible with those gadgets, with those shades coming in, is going to keep that Surge on low stacks, and that is the play. They've got to find the right lane for sure. That's where Rejects are going to be trying to utilize that max to really get the Surge into where it needs to be. Buster, I mean, again, a very stepped-on brawler for this kind of map. I think he can get some good results, but I still kind of prefer the longer range affair for me a little bit more on this particular map. But is that going to work out particularly well into the loop? Not too sure, to be honest. I mean, that's where the shielding is going to be quite key to push his way into a good spot. Is Shu going to be on it? And that gives me a lot of confidence for it. So already the shades go straight towards Batman, who has been found as the kit from Suzuku. Finds a very nice spot there, and the swipe's already going quickly down.
Ooh, Shu body blocking for Melty still falls. We'll see ZETA pop down another round of shades, keeping Battleman at bay. He's now trying to rotate over to the right side. We'll see Suzuku once again in this position. Cardboard box to the bottom left. He can get his super, but he's forced his teammates to fight a 2v3. Don't think Reject really care. On the right side, Battleman getting some value. ZETA not trying to feed that damage. Pops down the shades to keep himself safe. The stun onto Melty. Suzuku at risk of falling, but Levi backs him up by popping down a super of his own, keeping Suzuku in position, now equipped with the super.
Laser are playing this well, but now the speed comes in from Melty. Shu there with the shielding. Doesn't really do much more with it, but Suzuku caught off guard there. Goes down. That forces back Zeta now. Levi has got a hypercharge. Definitely a blessing here. Would like to try to find Melty, ideally with it, who's got no super to be able to evade things. Has the gadget, though, and that's the problem. Nice connection there on the right-hand side. The kick coming in from Suzuku does then find the takedown with the help of his teammates. Now 2 hypercharges here for Zeta. This could be dirty, especially if they can connect that Tara with that black portal into the mix. And the loop, here it comes. Smash down there onto Batman. Can't do anything about it, but does find somehow a bit of a takedown on the right-hand side. Melty gets a gem for it. I've got to be honest. Reject did pretty well to survive that.
I honestly agree. Reject has been put in a tough position, and they still managed to hold on. How are they going to do so against Suzuku again? Oh, Suzuku knew it was going to get scouted. Shu, his Spidey sense activated, and he knew that Suzuku was going to be appearing from that left side just like he has every single time. There's the stun in. Shu survives. Levi in with the super to get some control around mid. Might be able to get this next gem. It's in a pretty neutral position, but more on the side of Reject. Shu and Battleman would rather let this one go to Melty, but Battleman's going to pick it up if he absolutely must. Hypercharge super in. Battleman looking for number 2, and no longer can Zeta Division tie by picking up a gem. Or, actually they can. They have enough time. Melty and Battleman now trying to pursue this position, which has been tied up by Zeta. Oh, but a takedown, and all the gems spill to the ground.
Terrible, disastrous. That was really the moment that ZETA had to stay firm and stay calm and collected. And that wasn't the case. Zuku's going to go in, but low HP immediately taken care of. All they had to do was come together and hold the mid, and it's just gone so south. And Rejects come out on top. They get the game. Match point. This next one is for the Grand Finals appearance today. And ZETA blew it. They just had to hold mid.
ZETA need to find a way to deal with this kit next time also, because it feels like their best counter picks, their power players, are being taken, or excuse me, Reject have to find a way to deal with this kit, because their power players are being taken down by it quite reliably. Suzuki taking a different approach. Melty knew it was coming, but Suzuki still managed to swipe him up. The super down. Levi taking an opportunity, actually ends up going for the shots on Battleman instead of Shu, which would have pretty much been a free super if he'd gotten the free shots over there. Nonetheless, they are in a pretty solid position. 3 gems ahead, but they don't have any answer for Battleman around the right side. He's finally gotten to the enemy back ranks.
I want to reiterate again how impressed I am with Battleman today, because again, when you've been out of the mix of the competitive team for 2 years really, he's been playing on and off, but nothing substantial. I mean, to be in your debut back after your retirement and then be in this close of a reach to getting to the Grand Finals is insane. I love that for him, but this was still far from over. 8 gems in the pocket of Reject. They're doing pretty well. They've got the match point. If this game goes their way, they are in that place, which Tatamo has the super on the Tara side. That bottom left creeping forwards now is definitely going to be on the concern on the minds. Then a Reject to the cardboard box. A hit comes forward. Suzuki finds it, and the support is there. The Tara stuck as well. The support for the gems back to the hands of Shu.
Nice recovery from Reject, keeps them in the game. Shu is in a pretty dangerous position, could get frozen by Lu if he plays too aggro. It's slowly winding down. Look at ZETA Division's util though. They have a kit super, and they have 2 hypercharges at their disposal. Just gotta get that super to make them actually impactful. ZETA, by the way, out of gadgets entirely, so he won't be able to push Batman as easily. Not really a concern. Batman's on the other side of the map. And another question, who is Suzuki going to jump on? Who is the ideal target for him? Battleman seems to be the answer. Levi claiming the free kill. Suzuki's still alive. Hypercharge in. No stun on a Shu. He popped the super just in time to completely nullify Shitetampo in with the super, but there's no one there to follow up on such a valuable ability. So much CC. ZETA Division now, once again, in with the kit. Suzuki taking down Shu. Slipping and sliding, but it's no issue. Had the super to cap things off. 3 gem deficit. Reject still playing defense. 10 seconds to go. ZETA Division need to pick up 1 more gem. Just hold on to this position in order to keep this one alive. But Reject keep on pushing in. Denied! They've taken it, and they're going to a grand final.
Did Ark actually run away? Come back, Ark. No.
No, I did ZETA.
I'm guilty.
This deja vu, isn't it? All over again. They could have been able to hold that mid, and some very questionable Tara supers from Tatamo, unfortunately, and just it was in arm's reach. This was a series that could have easily gotten to the 5th and final set. I say easily. Nothing's easy in the BSC. That's the whole point. But there was definitely an opening, a chance, a glimmer for ZETA to bring this one back. And they faltered, they failed. And credit to Reject. You know, they did exactly what they had to do. And they deserve to be in the grand finals as a result of that. My heart sinks a little bit for ZETA. I feel like they could have done a bit more in that 4th set there for me.
I do have to say, though, what a story. Who likes to know the ending from the beginning? We have gotten a total mix-up of our expectations heading into the final here, but having watched these matches all day long, I think these are the 2 best teams that have come here to play tonight. I'm really excited to see them go head-to-head in our grand finals. We've had such an exciting day of matches here. Taking a look one last time at the results, Reject, ZETA Division, all the great mechanics you saw, those interesting choices, and our bracket. Freddie, anything you want to leave the people with?